Hey everybody, how we doing? I'm just gonna wait here a second. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Today we're going to talk about WordPress plugins. A friend of mine wanted to know, really what plugins you want to put on a site. And really, it depends on you guys. I keep looking at the screen. It depends on you. It depends on what type of business you're doing. If you're doing like a e-commerce business, there's a plugin for that. If you're doing a membership site, there's a plugin for that. And really, you can go and look. You can put a keyword in it. On those kind of sites. Really not going to give you that because I'm going to give you more of the general type, which you should add onto your site. And you really don't have to do that. The least amount of plugins you can put on your site, generally the faster it's going to go, because every one of these plugins has, some code, and some of them really draw it down. And I'm going to show you how to, actually I showed you last week, but I'm going to show you again this week how to figure that out. Jetpack, if you turn everything on Jetpack, it is a waster. It really is. They say it's a really good plugin, but if you use all the stuff on Jetpack, it's going to slow your site down because it uses a lot, and I'm going to show you that here. So why don't I go ahead and listen, guys, if you are watching this on my website, there is a new Facebook comment below that you can comment there. That way I can see it a little faster probably than regular comments, because you have to approve the regular comments and stuff. So I figured I'd do something new, and I just put it together. I hope it works. We did do a test, me and a friend of mine, and it seemed to work. So I'm going to, just go ahead and figure that it does. So we're going to start with, I hope this is good too. Let me check my site here. All right, here I am early. Okay. All right, I just, Debbie, if you're on here, just wanted to know, really if you can see this pretty good. I did boost, the images on it, so it should be bigger, and I can make it bigger if I have to. So, first of all, I'm going to talk about a plugin all the way down here, and I'll tell you why in a second. We're going to talk about Profit Builder, and if you've been following me at all, you've probably seen me do all kinds of pages, landing pages, and different kind of hangouts on, basically on some kind of landing pages and websites and stuff. Now, a lot of these plugins, they have just one thing that they're going to do. Where if you get a theme like Profit Builder here, you're going to basically this is, I know it's really huge because I got it way up. You can find out more here, but it gives you all of your social links. It gives you popular posts, different things, like I got it. So but here's some more links up here. it gives you a lot of the things that, you know, some of these plugins do. So you really don't need that. Like there's a thing out there. There's lots of social type plugins, but why get that if your theme has already got it? Because it's just going to draw your website down the more plugins you put on it. All right. So let me go back. That's one reason why you want to use this theme. Now, if you go and try to buy this thing, it's an excellent. It'll build you websites, membership sites. It'll build you e-commerce sites. It'll build you landing pages, just regular website, authority websites, stuff like that. All right. So it's just not, you know, there for landing pages. It'll make any kind of page that you want. If you want to do a webinar type page, you can do that. You can, you know, like if you're doing a register, you know, you're going to do some live event or something, and you want to register people to come to that, you know, webinar. It's got timers and all kinds of stuff on there to help, you know, your customer get involved and understand, hey, it's in a couple hours or a couple days. So this is something you really, I think, you know, I have this on most of my sites, and it's something that you really need to have, because, you know, why pay somebody to do a landing page or any kind of website when you can do it yourself? So, you know, that's something that I feel that's pretty good. It comes, I think it comes with the theme. It's a Profit Builder theme, which entices it. And there's one other thing, and this particular site has it. And some of these plugins that I may show you, you know, I'm not really totally sure every single one of them is free on the website, but they have something called Launchpad. And Launchpad, I think it's an upsell to Profit Builder. And Launchpad is something that it's only really for new sites. You know, when you're building a new site, what it does is you fill in all this information, which it really isn't that hard. You know, you fill in the information, and basically you push a button, and everything, you know, it goes up on your website, I mean on your server, and all the plugins are installed, and they are already they're already set up and ready to go, so you don't have to go into each plugin and mess around with it. It's all set up and configured and ready to go. It's what I did with this site here. I just basically tried it out. You know, I had a lot of sites, so I put this on a bunch of my sites. And you can use Profit Builder on an existing site, but most likely you're probably going to have to do a lot of finagling around. Like I did one on one of my sites, and all the content stayed up. And if you do anything like that, make sure you back it up with your server, you know, do a backup. But anyway, I had to do a lot of tweaking, you know, it just because it was you know, I had it on a totally different theme. It was like an AdSense type theme and SEO type. And so it changed a lot, and that's okay with me. You know, I like to, you know, fix up the website, make it different for, you know, new people that's coming, people that's already been there already. So that's something, you know, that you can do. But if you have the chance, if you know, have the money, get the Launchpad. If you do a lot of websites, it makes your life, you know, really, it's an amazing thing. It gives you all your privacy and terms and all kinds of stuff. I don't know if I can show you that on here or not. No. Right here on the footer, it gives you the terms of privacy policies. There's some other policies that I just didn't put on here. extra link policy, you know, there's all kinds of stuff here. And this was all put up just by a plugin or something that I can't find it actually for free. So it must have been something either that he made for this, or he bought it and put it on these sites somehow. But this is all set up for you. You know, you just put in the information and bang, it's all done for you. All right, we good? No questions so far? I gotta refresh this all the time. You're here, good deal. You like the whiteboard, huh? Yeah. It is pretty cool. It's 8 foot by 4 foot. It's a big one. Oh man, the screen sharing ain't working. Ah, I know why. Okay, thank you. Let me go back. You know why it ain't working? Because I didn't share it. All right, here we go. I'm glad I checked that. All right, well, you didn't miss much. I was just talking about, you know, this product, Profit Builder anyway. So, which is right here. If you're on the website, you can see, you know, you can check this out. Thank you. I'm glad I looked at that. That would have been pretty sad. All right, let me go back. So, you know, starting out with a good theme that has some of the things that you want. You know, this particular theme set up for sliders. It's set up for, you know, it gives you all kinds of stuff that you will, you know, you basically won't need any other plugins. You know, it's basically set up. Actually, it has a clone, you know, where, you know, you can clone sites, you can clone pages. So let's just go ahead and we'll start towards the top here, and I have some of these plugins on here, and I'll tell you a little bit about them. This particular one here is I'm going to kind of categorize them, and you know, it's for the speed of your site. It's called 2KB performance. Now, it doesn't always work. And if you watched last week's, if you didn't watch last week's webinar, what you want to do is open, when you're doing anything that has to do with CSS or JavaScript, you want to keep your site open on a different page. If you activate this plugin and you do some, you know, whatever they have for settings, you set it all up and you go and look at your site, you know, go ahead and, you know, refresh your site, and it breaks it, or, you know, maybe it's got a 500 error or something. All you need to do is come back and deactivate it, and your site, you know, refresh it, and your site should come back up. All right. In most cases, that'll happen. There was one case that I had, I don't know what, I can't remember what plugin it was, but it wouldn't let me do anything. I tried to deactivate it. It wouldn't do it. So I ended up having to deactivate all plugins. And when I did that, it actually did it. And then I just put everything, you know, all the ones that I wanted back, and I deleted that other plugin. So plugins can be, especially the ones that have CSS and Java, you know, it depends on your theme. You know, that's why there's no shortcut thing here. It really depends on your theme of what you can use. And sometimes if you're using another something else that's trying to do the CSS and the JavaScript, you know, they could mismatch too. This plugin here, I don't have it activated right now, but that's why I put the Facebook thing on. But this is to protect you from spam on your comments and stuff. Works really well. I just don't have it on. This is a plugin that this one you're probably not going to be able to get. But this works with the sliders. You know, when the pictures go in and out, and you know, another picture comes in and another one. You know, I did one of my websites got like 6 or 7, and I just did text. You know, running text through there, and then but you can use them for, you know, pictures and text, whatever you want. There are other sliders out there. Just go ahead, go up here when you push new, add new, and you can go over here. This one's going to search all the plugins here, but once you push new, then you can come over here and put slider in there, or something like whatever the, you know, whatever you want. You can put that in there and push start, and it'll probably bring up something for you. This is an anti-spam, just another one, you know, for your comments. This is an auto featured image. If you go to a post, usually on the bottom down here, there's a auto, you know, like an image that you can put there. I think this one just takes whatever image is on the page, maybe the first one or whatever, and puts it, you know, let's see. Just want to give you an idea and show you this. Oh, I hit the wrong page. Like this one here. You know, this is probably the, oh, I'd have to press on it. Oh, I discontinued it because I didn't want it up there. I wanted the video up there. Anyway, what it does is it puts it up here on the top. And then I guess if you have the right plug-in here or widget, it'll put it over here too. Okay. What is a slider? Let me see if I can. Let's see if I can run a. Now this website's a work in progress, but I should be able to show you what a slider is. Come on. All right, this is a slider. Where it goes through, you can have pictures here. You know, I just happen to have a lot of text. Okay, that's what a slider is. And then you can have lots of these if you want. Anything else? Still, I can't help the blurriness. It's my internet connection. Okay, well, we'll just have to deal with that. You know, like I said, it's the internet connection that's really terrible. So optimize Auto optimize is another type CSS, JavaScript. What you're doing is you're trying to rearrange the files to get them away from the header so your page loads faster. That's what a lot of these, these type of plugins do, and you need that. That's one of the main concerns of your website is you want it to load as fast as possible. So when you start putting a bunch of pictures in the header area and stuff like that, it slows it down, and you need things to either compress it, and there's certain CSS files that you don't need up there that you can put in the footer. These plugins are supposed to do that stuff for you. Backup, I don't really have this activated either, but you can actually have your site backed up right here. But that was one of the plugins that was put there. I guess it would be easy instead of going to the server all the time, but generally if I want to back something up, I go straight to the server. Better RSS widget. Tell you the truth, I really don't know what this one does. This was one that came from the Launchpad. I'm sure it does something because this guy is an SEO type. He does a lot of SEO. That's his specialty. So a lot of the plugins, I just left them the way they were. BJ Lazy Load. This is another. It saves your bandwidth. It's another speed type thing. Another plugin that works with speed. And I showed you last week, how to do these things. Basically, I would turn everything off and then start adding them one by one, and going back to this place here called GT Metrics, and keep testing your site every time you add a plugin. And I'm going to show you another plugin that's going to, it's going to help you see a big draw in something. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to do an example for you. So check and enable gzip compression. This one here came from the Launchpad. I don't know if you can actually get this. Like I said, just write these down, and then basically go check in the search, in the plugin search, to see if they're there. There will be some kind of gzip compression. It might not be the exact same one, but if you can get this one, it works pretty good. Oh, sorry. Contact form 7. It's been around forever. It'll make you a contact form so you can, like put it on a contact us type page, because Google likes to see that. They want to make sure that your customers can actually, get a hold of you. Duplicate post. This is probably something that has to do with the cloning of the theme, because like for landing pages, you want to clone them. Say you want to do a landing page. Well, you just don't do one. You want to do about 3 of them at least, and maybe clone 3 of them to be the same thing, and then change the headline on the other 2, and maybe keywords, or however you're actually doing it. If you're doing PPC, you're going to change the headline to the next keyword that you're going to use, type thing. This plugin did not work for me, but I know it works because I've heard a lot about it. It's just it didn't work for me on this site. It's called Far Future Expiration plugin. What it is it's your head. Let's see here. What is it? Your head tags. When people come to your site, it has to do with loading. The loading speed and stuff. when people come to your site, say you have a pretty effective blog and somebody comes there, what it does is it puts that like a kind of like a cookie on their system, and it actually takes it into the future. So whenever you come into their site, say, some of them you can do for a month and some of them you can do for a year, depending on what file it is. And basically, this plugin takes care of all that. It's all set up. It actually knows what files, need to be a month or what need to be a year. And you can change them sometimes, but generally I just leave them the way they are. Like pictures, most of the time you don't change pictures. So they put that one off for like a year. So when somebody comes, it doesn't have to reload that picture. It's it's already kind of on your browser. HTML in category descriptions. Guys, I really, really, really don't know too much about this to tell you anything. This is one of the ones that came with the plugin, and so is this site cloner. So these were a couple that came with Launchpad, and this one you might be able to get somewhere else because it doesn't have his name on it, but I'm not sure. Jetpack, this is the one I'm going to activate, and I'm going to show you. We'll do a little test here. I just did this not too long ago, but I'll retest it. This is the same site we're on, and then while that's running, I'll come back here, and after it's done, I'll activate this. Here's another cloning widget type thing. It probably has to do with the plugin itself. That's Profit Builder. Cloning different things that, if you're going to clone your whole site, there's probably different things that you need to actually do that. This plugin right here, P3, Plugin Performance and Profiler. Oh, it's choking me. This one is on, and let's go to it real quick. Oh no, I gotta make sure the other thing's done. It's done. It's basically the same thing as it was before. All right, so we're gonna go back. We're going to activate this. That's weird. Let's see if it activated. Nope. I don't know why it won't. This would ask for your email or your username, I guess. This you need a WordPress.com site, one of the free sites. You can go to WordPress.com and set yourself up a free site because you need it for this. All right, so hope it's going. Something's choking me, guys. All right, so now it's set up. Mostly everything is activated. There's a lot of stuff on here that you can take off if you want. You know, say your site or whatever doesn't have sharing, you know, buttons or whatever. They say that this Jetpack is really good for that. So now we're going to go ahead. I'm going to show you the difference. I'm going to restart that, and I'm going to go back here. Where's that tool thing? I forgot to show you this. I should have showed you this before. See this light blue? I hope you can see that. Well, what the light blue means is that's Jetpack by WordPress. That's taking up a lot of space. These are the different things that you have going on in your like plugins and stuff. This is what this does. It basically checks your plugins and you know, tells you it's using 59%, which is costing you 0.9 something seconds. See, that one's 11, 6, 4, 13, and 7. So all these plugins, they cost you time because the way they're set up and, you know, the code and, you know, whatever. But 59% is huge. All right, so I got this so big, this don't even work. We'll go back. See, 72% plugin impact. That's kind of massive. We'll go back here. Let's get our results over here. Oh, that wasn't much of a difference there. Really? Okay, we'll go back. And we're going to deactivate it. All right, we're going to go to the same plugin here. This little plugin is pretty cool. It still says 72. Somehow it didn't take it off. Let's see, maybe I'll refresh. It should take that plugin off because I deactivated it. Maybe I didn't deactivate it. I don't know. We'll go on and I'll go back to it. So that's cloning. This is great for checking your plugins. Post type order. This has to do with the drag and drop that I think comes with Profit Builder. Q2 W3 Fix-It widget. This has to do with putting your code, like say you have Google Analytics or something, and there's nowhere to put it in a Profit Builder, which there is a place there that you can put it in. But I did use this for some reason. I can't remember. And, you know, it worked really well. Oh, it was, I think it was an AdSense. I used AdSense and put it in there. Really simple CAPTCHA. This is supposed to work with the contact form 7. I never did get it to work right yet. It wasn't something that was really, top of the list. So I don't know what I did wrong. But I've seen other people use it, so it must work. This is another slider. This is probably a paid thing. It says premium there. Simple page ordering has another thing to do with the drag and drop, guys. I just put this on, and it took a little work, more on getting the app from Facebook than it did, but the guy had very detailed how to do everything, even the Facebook app thing. He told you exactly how to do it all. I just followed his instructions and came out with, the plugin that you got at the bottom, which I think works pretty well. So I'm happy with it. Like I said, this guy, he has like 3 or 4 blog posts that he sends you to, and it was very detailed. Now I put one on right before his. It said Facebook comment something or other, but there was no instructions. There was nothing, because it didn't tell you. It just told you to put an Facebook app in there, an ID, and that was it. And they didn't tell you how to get the ID or anything. So, I was kind of miffed about it. I took it off, and I found another one just by putting Facebook comments in there. And so, you can use this on, I just put it on this particular page, but you can, put it on posts and pages, and you can put it on whatever you want. You don't have to, like the home page here doesn't have it on, but you can put it on there, but I didn't want it on there. This right here is really cool to have. It gives you a lot of options in your editor. Use Google Libraries. I really don't know what this is. This is one of those plugins that, he put on there. It must have something to do with the JavaScript. I'm not really sure. I don't know what's going on with my throat. It's dry today. W3 Total Cache. This is a caching plugin. Pretty intense to set up, and sometimes you can actually slow down your speed of your site, and this is another speed site thing. But you need some kind of caching plugin, and there's another one called Super Cache, and there's a few of them out there, but those are the two, the two big ones that I can think of right now. I switched to using this W3 Total Cache. It takes work, though. It really does. You have to basically push the button. There's a lot of things that you check off. You check it off, and you have to go check your site. And you have to go check the speed to see if it changed anything. So it takes time to set it up. WordPress security. It works fairly well. I don't have it activated here because, like I said, I was checking my site. There's a few things that I haven't really reactivated yet, but that's a pretty decent one there, and you can get that at the thing. WordPress visual icons. This is just an extra. Gives you different icons. It came with the Launchpad too. So did this one, the WP policies. Now, I looked for this WP policies to put it on a different site. I couldn't find it. It's probably a paid one, and I just couldn't, basically I couldn't find it. WP Smash. Now, this is going to, say you have a blog, it's got a lot of images on it. It's going to Smash, basically, it's going to take, a lot of the space out of the pictures and free up some, some space for you. Basically, that's what it does. But it smashes like the size of your picture down to a smaller size, even though the picture size is the same. And there's the WP Super Cache. And I had that on here, and or they had it on here, and I checked the other one out. I'm not sure. WP Insert. This has something to do with AdSense. WP Optimizer. Now, I really like this plugin. It has to do with your database. It keeps it optimized. You go there every once in a while, click a button, and it optimizes. Whatever it takes. Say you have done a post and you kind of did a draft, or you didn't want it, or you deleted it. All that stuff still sticks out there. And what this will do is it'll basically clean up the database. Say you did a revise something on your post. It'll actually show something in the database, and this will go in and clean it up, and it'll be all pretty cool. I'll take you to this real quick because it's pretty cool. I like it. It might need updated or whatever. I haven't been in here for a while. All right. Nope, this isn't where I wanted to go. My thing's so small, I can't even. All right, let me, there we go. Maybe this is where I wanted to be. Usually there's numbers that tells you maybe it's all cleaned up. I'll hit the button anyway. All you have to do is hit the button. Yeah, it must have been all cleaned up. Usually it tells you, if there's, revisions and, drafts and, all the stuff. It tells you, if you've done something. But I've been working on other stuff, so I guess it's been okay. Okay, back to, I think we had one more to go. That's a good one, guys. I would definitely put that on all your sites. And then Yoast SEO. It's a little bit difficult too to set up, I think. But it's really cool, and I'll show you in certain ways, how it is good for you, and what you can get out of it. We'll just pick this one here. All right, this is really the best thing that I like about it. And right here, the description, your header, the title, the description. It doesn't. I guess you can change that, but I generally don't change that. What happens is if you don't have something like this, and you don't have a way to put a description there, what Google's going to take is the first couple words and whatever the first I think it's 160 letters out of your description, and they're just going to say, if you didn't know that and you just said something crazy like hey, today we're going to work on plugins, and you just kept on going. I mean, it was really nothing to do with the title, other than the word plugins. That's going to be a kind of a crappy description, So that's where this comes in. You can rewrite whatever you want here. And that's what happens, when you first come up. It shows you what Google is going to put in there. I mean, basically what that first part of your title is. So basically, let me see the first thing here. This is what my thing would have been. It says, today you will learn a few landing page tips that will help you improve your landing pages. Most likely it would have went a little further than that. So that would have been my description if I didn't have this. Plus, it gives you the focus word, what your main keyword is on this particular page. It actually gives you a couple keywords that you can use. I mean, you have to put them in there, but it gives you keywords to use here for this is like behind the scenes in your website. All this stuff right here is, if you go in here and say here, this website here, you go and right click and hit page view. It's generally the stuff that's let's see. I had to say that. Generally, it's at the top. There's so much code here with this particular. Here's your meta. Here's some of it right here. Can't see the title. Here's your title. All right. So, stuff like this is behind the scenes. Somewhere in here, it gives you those keywords. Somewhere there's the description. I can't see the keywords, but they're there somewhere. So that kind of stuff is basically, it's the SEO stuff behind your behind the scenes, behind your page that you don't actually see unless you really know how to find it. And then right here, it gives you some things you can do to make your page better, which a lot of people, they don't know how to do SEO. So this gives them, ways, at least it tells them, hey, you don't have an H2, tag. And, if you don't know what that is, then you can go to Google and look it up and get one, And then once you do this a couple times, then pretty much, you can just keep on doing it. But the main reason I like it is because I can write my own title here. I mean, my own description. And I can put in here, check out for more, or find out, how to get better conversions. I could put like a call to action in with a little description. Plus, you want your keyword in there. All right. So that is it with that. Let me go back here and see if this particular site has anything different. I couldn't do this one with Launchpad, so since it's only 148 here, I'll give you a little more insight. See, I pulled these off. So anti-spam, I found in the free plugins. The auto featured, I found that in the free plugins. Some of these things I have, this was a paid thing from something else. Broken link checker is pretty good, but you don't really need it on all the time. You can like activate it when you need it. Here's a good one. If you have like a blog and it's getting spammed like crazy, this little plugin right here will delete all the comments. You know, if you want to delete them all because they're just spam, this was a perfect. It works really good. And I generally, you know, when I need it, I just activate it, and you know, that's it. There's a future. This one right here is a paid GD Press Tools. It's kind of a maintenance type for stuff with optimizing things in your website, but it was hard for me to deal with. Google Analyze, what is that? Analytizer or whatever. This was a plugin that you could use for AdSense, right? No, at Google Analytics. Yep, Google Analytics. So what you probably do is, I can't remember. It's set up. Let's see. I just had to enable it and tell it what site, and that was it. I probably had to put my my number in there. You know, you get a number that starts with U something or other, and I don't want to show you mine, but you know, you just follow this, and then what it'll do is give you analytics right here on your site. See, I've been working on my site. It's kind of down right now. This is the one I just put the profit builder on, and I don't even think it's on, to tell you the truth. I think I have it off as far as the search engine's trying to find it, because it's not ready yet, and I just didn't want a lot of people coming and going really nowhere. All right, so that's that. Really, you don't need this, and you know, this right here, I don't know how much it really takes from the site as far as speed. Sometimes when you put these things that have a lot of statistics, that will not only take a lot of server time, but it will slow your site down. And I don't know if this one does or not. And basically, you can really go to Google and set yourself up an analytics there, and you don't need this. But it's kind of nice to have it here, you know, right here, right away. Yeah, see, I got other posts that aren't even. That's something when you set up the Yoast SEO, and if you haven't had it on there since day one, you have to go through every post to put in a focus keyword and set yourself up a description. So you'll have to go through every single post, you know, just like I am right here. I did 12 of them, but I just got 6 more to go. Oh, it does say my thing is good for search engines. I thought I turned it off. So let's go back. Do a few more plugins before the day's out. See if there's anything different. This sitemap generator, I used that a long time ago. I really don't think you need that anymore. These Google things, I haven't used those in a while. GZ-Zip, Ninja Speed Compression. That was another one that you could use. I like the other one better than this one, but this one was really super easy. I think all you have to do is enable it, and that's it. And here's that thing here. Let's go on this one and see. Let's find it. Let's see if there's anything, you know, dragging this site down. It's a 53. I guess when you put Jetpack on there, it shows it, and I guess there's no, you must have to do a search or scan, but it takes a while to do a scan. So I won't do that because this is deactivated. See, it had 39%, probably because I turned some of the stuff off. But I thought, oh my God, that's a lot. So this is a good tool here to use. All right, so Jetpack, post type order. So that one came from the drag and drop. I brought that in. Power Ping, that was a paid thing. Profit Builder. I found this one too, the Q2 W3. So, you know, that's a regular free one. Quick Cache, I used that, but this is without compression. But if you have gzip, it should be okay. I used this before. I think I've changed to a different caching thing. Actually, I don't think this is good anymore. I think I got an announcement that said they were going, they weren't going to do it anymore. We had that one. SEO, that was a paid thing. SEO, no duplicate. I think this is so you don't have a duplicate page. SEO tag cloud widget. That's just a widget in the back. Shareaholic. This one here, I think the last time I had it up, it dragged my site down too. I had to deactivate it. Simple page ordering, we got that. That was from the other site. Smart 404. If you have a bunch of 404s, this would be a good tool to use. I used to use this a lot. I don't even know how to say it. It's SUCURI, security. But I think I took it off. Either I just didn't put it back on because of the speed thing, or I took it off because of the speed thing. And then using Google Libraries, that was something I found. So that was a free one from the last, you know, from the other one. W3 Total Cache. And all the rest of them we had on the other one. So guys, I hope this helped you out. I know I kind of went through them, and I hope you wrote them down and you can go, you know, check on them. If not, you can watch this again, write them down, and, you know, go to your search. You know, just go up here, say new. Boy, my thing is running slow. Okay, here. Then you put in, say, okay, Facebook comments. Whoops. All right. And the one I picked, I can't even remember. This one, TG Facebook comments. You know? So that's how you find stuff, you know, like Google, let's say maps. Oops. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Say you wanted to put Google Maps on. I don't know why, but there they are. So whatever you want, you know. If you want a membership site, let's go membership. There you go. Well, that one's paid, but membership sites. You know, this it's a plugin that's going to help you with the membership, kind of lock it down. And, you know, there's a e-commerce type thing. And you just go down and check them. And then, you know, instead of just installing them, go in, hit more details, and check it out. You know, like that other guy, after I put the first one on and it didn't work, you know, I really checked it out, and he had a lot of detail in here, not like this one. Let me go back to that, and I'll kind of show you. Sometimes you just don't know. I mean, you try it, and if it don't work or whatever for you, or it messes up your site or something, you just kind of deactivate it and get rid of it. So let's see, Facebook comments. Come on. All right, see this guy. This is the guy I use, TG Facebook comments. So I want to hear. This guy was really detailed, I swear. Look, this is his website. Go down through. There's another page on his website. And there you go. And then once you got the plugin in, he had the same links in there. So, you know, and then all you have to do is install it. And once you get it there, then activate it, and you're all set. So guys, I hope you got something out of that. I mean, there's a ton of plugins out there, and those are just the ones I use. There was another. Oh, well, let me show you this real quick. There's another spot that I saw today, and I thought was pretty cool. Before I go, this one right here, top 99 free WordPress thing, WordPress plugins. And all I did, let's see, all I did was put in WordPress plugins, I think. And he wasn't the top. You had to go down, but it said the top 99 free plugins, WordPress plugins. And then it just gives you a bunch of them that, you know, a lot of them that I went through. There's Yoast, and there's some here that I don't use. And, you know, there's one, there was one I had, WP Super Cache. I didn't use that. There's a different analytics, but like I said, if I were you, I would use the analytics, you know, from Google. Just get yourself a Gmail account, set yourself up an analytics, and that way it's off of your site and somewhere else. There's one that said disable comments. But there's a whole bunch here, guys. You'll really, you know, enjoy this. And there was some pretty decent ones. There's a lot I don't use, but, you know, it depends on what you want to do. You know, what your site's about, what it's, you know, what you're doing with your site. So, you know, what I do with my sites and what you do with your sites is totally different. And you may use different plugins than I do. All right. So, you know, just I give you some ideas, and I give you some plugins to start out with. You know, you want to keep your speed up. You want to make sure that you have some kind of speed, you know, plugins that are going to keep your speed up. Now, on those speed ones, you can't have like a whole bunch of them. You know, that's not going to just keep on. It's going to mess up your site. So you basically pick a one or two sometimes. depending on what they are. Like sometimes you can run 2 at a time, but you really have to check out your site. You have to check out your speed on GT metrics there and see, what it's doing. If it's, hurting your site, if it's breaking something, then you can't use both of them. Some sites are really, some themes are really hard on what's it called? Miffing. So, or I think it's called Mifify or something like that. They don't like it, and it breaks the code in like the header or whatever, and it'll break your site. So you'll have to go back and fix, mess around with it. So basically, like I told you, you should have your regular site up, and then the plugin thing, whatever you're working on, so you can go back and forth and check your site, make sure it's okay, and then go over to GT metrics and make sure that it's, not slowing your site down. Or, there was one time I did something and GT metrics wouldn't even work. It just kind of sat there and did nothing. And then it came up and said your site's like 50 times too slow or something like that. So I don't know what I did, but you know what I did? I deleted whatever I was doing. So that's about it, guys. I appreciate you. I'm glad you showed up today, and I hope you learned something. And guys, subscribe to my channel if you want. Leave me a comment below. Love to hear from you. I'll see you the next time. It's next Thursday, actually.